Joshua, you mentioned that you solved the problem of centralization with having a lot of nodes. But what about single source oracles? I saw that some of the use cases that you put on the website, such as proof of reserve, supply chain, fiat payments, those are pretty reliant on real world institutions to report the information. Yeah. So how can a wide node network solve that?
Yeah, so that's a good point. And we try to be really transparent about this. Basically, the most you can do in a scenario where there's only one authority with that data. For example, like Nasdaq, an organization we've had conversations with, and at some point we would like to get equity data on blockchains, perhaps. The thing is, that is like a single authority that has the data. Like that's where it's traded. So how do you handle that? Basically, we ask them to cryptographically sign every reading that they publish. Now that's okay. However, you still have a single point of failure. Let me give you the story. Back in 2020, I believe it was Compound Finance using an oracle from Coinbase, and they're getting the data directly from Coinbase, and Coinbase was cryptographically signing the data. It sounds like, okay, that's good. However, what happened was someone got a hold of that private key and was publishing the wrong data. Now, what does that mean? It means that just because data is signed doesn't actually mean it's correct. So I would always say when using single source data, use it at your own peril. You got to be very careful about that. Oracles, they are what trigger smart contracts to behave a certain way. So there are cases where there is only a single source and there's no way to handle that. But there's also, let me describe another interesting use case, which a lot of people think is not a good idea and not even possible. And that is like, how would you possibly get real estate on a blockchain, right? That is a tough one. My only solution here, it is going to have to require some level of centralization, but it doesn't have to be a single source. So first of all, these should be more institutions, not just, oh, I'm going to put my parents' house on the blockchain and use that as collateral. No, you shouldn't do that. They should be more institutionalized. You should work with multiple underwriters, right? Like proper underwriting firms that have huge bankrolls, audit firms as well. And not just one, you get maybe like 3 of them or 5 of them involved. And then every decision has 3 multi-signatures from each of them, 3 out of 5. But each of those multi-signatures should be like a 9 out of 13. So in total, you actually need 45 people to be engaged. Things like this. These are feasible, actually. And that's fairly decentralized and also trustworthy. So it's possible. I think it will happen. I don't think it's going to happen next year. But yeah, when it comes to a single source, though, you got to be careful. Let's put it that way.